How you doing, folks? Right, as most of you, if not all of you, already know, in February the 20th of this year, I was arrested outside a Merseyside police station, Crosby police station, in fact, for attempting to take some video, some stock footage. Subsequently, I was approached by a police officer who questioned me for some time. I refused to give my details to him because I hadn't committed any crime or any offence. He then went on to speak to his sergeant, and after some time he came back and said to me, okay, I'm going to leave you to get on with what you're doing, basically. Ultimately, letting me know at that point that what I was doing was absolutely fine. Excuse me, my camera's a little bit wonky. I was then approached by another police officer who pulled up next to me in a car. He asked me what I was doing. I explained to him that I'd already spoken to the police officer, and I was left to get on with what I was doing. And then he left me to do what I was doing. That's two affirmative actions, if you like, giving me permission to to basically do what I was doing. Then I was approached by two non-uniformed police officers. I don't know if they were civilian staff or, I'm not entirely sure. No, they were both police officers, sorry, because I've got the witness statements from them. They then made a big song and dance about me doing what I was doing, even though I'd already been spoken to and the first police officer had spoken to his sergeant, so they knew what I was doing. And then I was subsequently surrounded by 8 police officers, harassed, threatened, and then arrested, assaulted, taken away for several hours, relieved of my freedom. And then ultimately, after several hours, let go without any charge, under investigation. And then 4 weeks later, I received a letter stating no further action. Obviously, I'd done nothing wrong, so why should there be any further action? Now, I was arrested under Section 50 of the Police Reform Act, which unfortunately the police use, or abuse, in much the same way they used to abuse Section 44 of the Terrorism Act 2000. That particular act, Section 44, allowed the police to stop anybody they want without suspicion and search them, which was an infringement of human rights, and that act was subsequently repealed thanks to thanks to liberty, human rights. But unfortunately, Section 50 of the Police Reform Act, which came into effect 2 years later, in 2002, gives police officers the right to not only ask, but demand under threat of arrest your details, your name and address, which breaches your human right to privacy. I was obviously arrested for failing to provide my name and address, and when I got to custody, I did provide my name and address and every other detail that they asked for, but I was still held for several hours. I know that Davey, I'll put a link to his channel in the description if you don't already know him. He has set up a change.org petition for, I believe it's the Scottish version of Section 50 of the Police Reform Act, I believe. I may be wrong, but it's something to do with, because he got arrested for basically doing the same thing as me, taking photos or video in a public place. He was subsequently arrested and assaulted, injured, inflicted some serious pain, which is now, I believe he was on some very strong painkillers because of that, and he's going to court. Now, I'm not going to court for my arrests because, you know, the police, you know, failed to charge me, and they've given me a no further action letter. So they're not taking me to court. But the simple act of arresting somebody for standing in a public place, and at that time I was arrested, the only thing that I had actually captured in footage is the police officers approaching me. I build website templates as a hobby. I'm not overly good at it, but that's why it's a hobby, so I can get better at it. I wanted some footage for a website template. I've got footage of fire engines and ambulances, for example. I wanted some footage of police car. I wanted to catch the footage of the police car coming out of the back of the police station with its lights and siren going in the dark, because it makes it look more dramatic. That's all I was doing. I hadn't managed to capture anything at that point because no police car came out with its lights on. And I was only there for, I think, about 40 minutes altogether. Subsequently arrested. Now, Davey, as I say, has done a change.org petition to try and get things changed in Scotland. I have just made a change.org petition as well with regards to Section 50 of the Police Reform Act 2002 and how the police are abusing that act, much like they abused Section 44 of the Terrorism Act, which was repealed. I'm asking you very graciously, if you're watching this video and you believe that the police's power to infringe on our human rights, our basic human rights, should be fought against. We have to stand up and protect the rights that we have as human beings, not as British citizens or the British public, but as human beings. If we commit a crime, we have, you know, done something that society doesn't agree with. And yes, we subsequently, because we've gone against society, subsequently we lose some of our rights. And that's only right. But if you haven't committed a crime, if you haven't caused somebody harm, loss or damage, then why should you be forced, under threat of assault and a criminal record, to give up your details and end up on a police database, especially if you've never done anything wrong and you believe that you're not on a police database already? Why would you want to end up on their intelligence files? It is an invasion of privacy. And I would ask you, please, if you feel the same way, click the link in the description below. Head on over to change.org and sign a petition. If you would also please be so kind as to share that petition with people that you know. Share it, you know, Facebook, Twitter, wherever you may, or even if you want to make your own video here on YouTube and explain to people, you know, why I'm doing it, and then take the link from the description below and pop it in your own video, that's absolutely fine. But I really think that we have not, I know that we have to protect our rights. Okay, the more of our rights that we allow to be trampled on, okay, the more and more we're going to be treated, you know, wrong. I don't know how else to put it, but the more power that we are giving to those people who already abuse the powers that they have. Okay, that's all I wanted to say. I don't want to make this too long, this video, but please, if you feel the same way as me, if you support anything that I do on this channel, I'm asking you to hit that link in the description, head on over to change.org and just pop your name down. And I would be extremely grateful. So thank you. And until next time, I will see you soon.